What's up, everybody? I'm Bretta. Welcome to the Brettahood channel. Today we're starting off with our first YouTube video about Valheim. And it's geared towards people who are just getting into the game. We're going to go through 3 things that you should do right away to protect yourself against the first night. So when you land in your world after being carried by a bird for what'll seem like a really long time, you'll have Hugin available to give you some tips, but we're just going to jump right in. We're starting with an inventory that doesn't have anything in it. You use WASD to pilot your character, and if you press Shift, you'll use some of your stamina, you see it at the bottom of the screen there, to run faster. Now the first thing you need to do, tip number 1, is to gather branches and stones off the ground or get wood from punching small trees. So if you run around for a little bit, you'll notice there are small trees that you can punch. Punching takes stamina, so you've got enemies as well, but you may need to punch some boars or other enemies. That's the sound of a critical hit. And when they explode, you'll be able to pick up their items. But anyways, back to tip 1 here. You can punch small beech trees, and they will eventually get destroyed. You can see at the top left that I added 2 wood. And you're going to need a little bit of wood. You can make yourself, after you grab these resources, you can make yourself some tools. So, still looking for some stone here. Here's one. They look like these little rocks on the floor. You pick it up and then you walk through it. You'll grab it. When you first get these items, you'll have new recipes available to you. Oh, flint. Interesting. Just like that, you'll see new recipes. And those branches are what it looks like to pick up sticks off of the ground. So, you can also find yourself berries. Those will help. But we'll go into detail about food in another video. Hello, Hugin. Let's keep running around, grab ourselves a little bit more wood. Once you run out of stamina, you'll have to wait till it recovers. Sometimes these evil denizens will really try and mess with you. And they do a fair bit of damage, so if you find yourself in trouble, hold tab to access your inventory and right-click food. Once you eat it, you'll have both more stamina and some health regeneration. Alright, perfect. So, you'll be here in your starting area. You'll have some inventory of wood and some stone. Which, to craft your first items, you press the tab key and you'll see on the right side here a crafting menu. To build, you need a hammer. You need 3 wood and 2 stone. We're going to go ahead and craft that. And we'll notice that we need a stone axe as well. So tip number 2 is to build a hammer and an axe. This will get you going much faster than anything else. And so we're going to need a little bit more wood and a little bit more stone. 4 more wood and 4 more stone. So let's go around. There's a stone. Here's a small beech tree that I can probably knock down with my bare hands. You can't use the hammer for anything except building. And anytime you see this yellow glow over yourself, it's because you're leveling up a skill, which happens really often at first. You get a little bit more efficient at what you're doing. Running out of stamina here. Perfect. Now we've got 6 wood and we just need 4 more stones. Here's some more raspberries. Might as well pick these up. You interact with E, as you can see. And boars will attack you. And so will tails, or necks. And necks just drop tails. They drop neck tails. That's why I said tails. Deer tend to run away from you. Let's see, just need a couple more stones. Here's a branch. Might as well pick that up. You have 300 weight in your inventory. Ouch. The game is definitely a little bit unforgiving. So you want to do these things as quickly as you can. Here's a couple stones. And I've got 3. One more stone. Oh, man. This thing really wants to fight. There's the final stone. Watch out, there's a lot of fall damage in this game, so be careful when you're running around. Alright, so we press tab. We now have the materials that we need to craft a stone axe, so we'll hit craft. This will help you cut down much larger trees, as I'll show you here. Large beech trees can be cut down. You'll want to be careful as you're cutting down trees, large trees, because they'll fall in a certain direction. If it's on top of you, you can die. Okay. And rolling logs can also kill you and knock over other trees, as you see there. When it's a really long log, chopping it will often cut it in half without giving you the wood, so the log can roll again, so be careful with that scenario. But once it's been chopped in half, you'll be able to get 10 wood or more per log. All of this does take stamina, though. If you find some berries and eat them, it makes the going a little bit better because your stamina bar gets a little bit longer. Perfect. So, the reason that we build a hammer and an axe first is that a hammer is used to build shelter and an axe is used to get wood, and so it helps you build much faster. The third thing you want to do, tip number 3, is switch to your hammer and right click. That is how you bring up the building menu, and you can see that the letter Q and E are up here for navigation purposes. You can go from tab to tab without clicking on them. But you'll want to build yourself a workstation. Workstations are critical in this game. You find a place to build. They're critical to building all sorts of other tools and even some clothing items and weapons. So when you build yourself a workbench, you'll notice that it needs a roof. So the game forces you to get into building right away. If you equip your hammer and right click, you'll see that under the building tab, you can build many different things. Once you click on one of those things, it'll start showing it to you. And if you scroll using your mouse wheel, you'll rotate the object. Now, we noted that the workstation needs a roof, so we're going to build walls on either side of it and behind it. Once you've oriented it and oriented the wall the right way, if you aim your crosshairs at the edge of another wall, it should match up pretty well, even if they're not perfect like this. We should be okay. So we also need a roof, and you'll notice there's 2 slopes for roofs in the game at the beginning, and that's 45 and 26. So we're just going to use a simple 26-degree thatch roof, and once you rotate it to match up exactly, it does work a lot more easily. But it's a little bit of a challenge to match up the crosshairs with everything you need. Once you've got walls behind and on the side and a roof, you can use the workbench. A bonus tip, this icon right here, you'll find it on the workbench and various other items as you progress through the game. Always click it. If you look at my axe, you'll see that my tunic was repaired there, my hammer was repaired, and my axe was repaired. Always click that, because once an item runs out of durability, you can't use it anymore, and this will help you go for a longer time before you need to return to a workbench. And so those are the first 3 things you should do, and you can leverage the building skills that you developed to build your workstation and get it operational, to build yourself a shelter for the first night. Oh, if you can't build too close to the to the initial area. So perhaps we'll build this way. And then you can build yourself a bed. If there are no enemies nearby, you can go to sleep, and the next day will be upon you. Nighttime is when most monsters tend to come out, so it's important to get yourself some type of shelter and a bed as soon as you can. Those are the 3 tips for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. We'll go over them one more time. First tip is to grab stones and branches off the ground, or punch small trees to get more wood. Once you have those items, build yourself a hammer and an axe. The hammer will help you build, and the axe will help you get wood faster for quicker building of a shelter. And third, you want to build yourself a workbench, because at that workbench, you'll get access to a whole bunch of items, including armor items, arrows, axes, weapons, shields, and you'll also be able to repair the tools that you've already built. Thank you so much for watching. This is our first video. We're going to be making a lot more about Valheim. If you enjoyed the content, think it would be useful, please subscribe to our channel to get updates, and leave us a comment below if you want to see a demonstration of another skill or another build that will benefit you.